Scat, and how does that change things?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you got your breadwinner in our right now, and the first year of our offense is doing a really good job and carrying a good load and having a good impact on the game, and not just the unit. I mean, Scat's got a consistency about the part of this whole team, right? And so having his ability to be day to day is gonna be something we're gonna have to work through. I think it's actually a good thing. I think you need that as a team at certain times. You need to be able to challenge certain guys to step up and take place. You need to see where you're at without guys. You're going to be without them soon enough, and so at some point that's got to happen. So I think it's a good challenge for us. We've got to be able to build a game plan around not having them. If we get them, great. If we don't, then you go with it. But I think our guys, the ownership of the group and the mentality of the unit needs to understand that collectively we need to step up and do what we need to do to find a place to win.
From your experience, how different is it from losing? Since now you've had games where you've now had your starting quarterback, now you possibly won't have your starting running back. How different is it from an offensive coordinator standpoint of perspective of changing your scheme or adjusting your scheme with those two different positions, considering the importance?
Yeah, I mean, I think over the time of your career, you probably get used to it a little bit. There's going to be times where you're going to lose a left tackle and Panay is going to go down, or Herb's going to break his collarbone, or your running back's going to go out, or your center's going to go out, and you do this long enough, and you're going to learn to have to make changes and adapt and overcome. This is just another one. You got to run him back down, and you got to move on. Sam was out a few weeks ago. You move on. You're not going to cancel the game. You're not going to expect you not to win. You got to go out there and do your best. Obviously, when you lose a key component, it's always tough because those guys carry a big load and they do a quality job at any level. But I think our guys have done a good job accepting the challenge. I'm excited to see our guys accept the challenge.
If Cam is not able to go, how can you create a soft landing for the rest of that backfield to put them in situations?
Just define a soft landing.
Things that cater to their skill sets.
Yeah, I think for the most part, I mean, there's not much that in regards to the scheme that'll change. With Sip, I mean, Sip's done a good job for us. He understands the protections. He understands the run game. He understands the pass game. He's got critical skills on all downs. As you get down, you had to get further and further down the list, then it could probably cater a little different. You've had to play like true freshmen, or you had to play guys who maybe didn't have the same skill set that could get things done. Now, there's some special things that Scat does, as we know, the things that the yards after contact and things like that we're actually yet to see by the other guys. So you got to be careful trying to over cater and be too specific, and then all of a sudden you're changing the entire game plan of what you do. At the end of the day, we got to put guys in position to kind of see what they've got. Sip's got a great opportunity. I think we're all really excited about it. That'll help define, this weekend and the future.
What were your impressions of Addison Williams in his first game as play caller?
Yeah, I mean, tough to tell in the first game. I think that game was out of control pretty fast, so it's hard to judge a little bit. So I think looking back at some of the stuff they did last year, having a feel for finding the few snaps that I could see within the game that was in reach. Can't put too much on it because you don't know. Going to have to make some in-game adjustments, I think, and see what their plan is. But they'll do a good job. I know they'll come out here ready to roll, and all of our guys excited to play.
From a personnel standpoint, what challenges do they present?
Yeah, they do a really good job on defense, obviously. They do a really good job stopping the run. They got to do a good job up front. Those interior guys are as good guys that we've seen. The back end, they're athletic and long. They can run and they can catch. I think they'll do a great job. There's going to be no easy outs, I think, with these guys. They're going to know where they need to be. They play fast. You turn on the tape, they're fly to the ball. I think they're excited that they're going to be playing a brand of football that may be new and fresh, and you never know how it's going to go with a new guy. So, but we got a good challenge here at home, for sure.
It feels like Sam has improved week after week, including a really good performance last weekend on the road for his first road start win. What's been your favorite thing to see him improve in his first year as starter?
I think the game's starting to slow down a little bit at certain times, There's been, each week, I think I told you guys this before, the gains you make in the early stages of your career they're really exploited because you can see them a lot better, right? The longer you go in your career that you don't have as much, the longer you go, the fifth year senior, or the third year, the fourth year, the fifth year, those things don't pop up as much because they've made those plays. The growth early on, the game slows down, certain checks you make that you're like, oh, you got it this time early. You're like, everything is just amplified, I think. So it's exciting to see the game slow down, make some checks, kind of play smart. There's a lot of different things that show up each week. Last week was a good example, something that really popped up. You're like, man, he's really feeling good, especially after coming off a week, 2 weeks off, There was a lot of rust on Tuesday's practice last week, and to come out, and I got after them pretty hard on that day and then the next day, and they responded well and played as a team.
Do you have any expectation? Do you have any expectation to mix it up with other wide receivers getting involved this week? Obviously, Jordan Tyson's done a really good job of getting on the stat sheet consistently, but maybe getting Moquan or other guys involved like that.
Yeah, I mean, those guys, we have no problems getting any of those guys involved. I think one game was with X won one game. Jake made a good play last week. The ball goes to certain guys at certain times. There's also times and places where guys get hot hands. That is a real thing in sports. If guys get a hot hand and they're feeling it, you keep dealing the ball. And Jordan got a hot hand the other day. Was feeling it, and we had some matchups we liked, and he kept getting in position to make some plays. So we have no problems getting some other guys the ball. Spreading the wealth is awesome. I mean, Seven got some more. I think almost had a career high for Seven as well for Shaman. And so anytime we can spread it out a little bit and be able to spread the wealth a little bit helps everybody.
With the potential of scat, is there a plan to involve Jason Brown in potential reps this week?
Yeah, I don't know. That's going to be a little more coach's call. When you start getting down into the freshman pool and the time and the development at certain areas. To see Jason, we've seen him in the off weeks that we've had. We saw him in camp. If that possibility comes up, then that'll be coach's call.